It's a beautiful plane. You just fall in love with the contours and the lines of the plane. And when you see one fly, it stirs that romantic feeling in you.
The Jenny must have been a magnificent aircraft, you know, especially to have survived all these years and still be flown and loved by the true aviators.
After World War I, they were dirt cheap. People could buy them and go barnstorming. During that period, Charles Lindbergh and Amelia Earhart learned to fly in a Jenny.
It really is one of the true landmark aircraft in U.S. aviation.
And I picked out the Jenny because of the fact that it was made out of wood, and it was one of these units that was always in the movies. I mean, if everybody saw the movie The Great Waldo Pepper, that's it.
So many people got their first airplane ride, their first exposure, their first sight of an airplane by seeing a Jenny fly overhead.
The Jenny is the classic, it's the icon of antique airplanes. It's everyone's love affair with an old biplane. It's just wood, sticks, wires that create this masterpiece of a flying machine.
Glenn Curtiss was a very brave and innovative man. He was also highly competitive. He freely embraced the free enterprise system. He had, as a motorcycle and a bicycle manufacturer and seller of same, he felt if you had a product that you could beat everybody in sight in a race riding, that you would sell it. And that served him well in bicycles, motorcycles, and ultimately in aviation. He did not hesitate to share or to have people see his products. He felt if he could manufacture a superior product, he would sell it. It served him well through his career.
For an aviation daredevil and innovator, Glenn Curtiss's beginning was modest. On a clear May day in 1878, in the lakeside village of Hammondsport, New York, Glenn Hammond Curtiss was born to harness maker Frank Curtiss and his aspiring artist wife Lua. The weekly Hammondsport Herald reported, "It's a boy and weighs 8 pounds. Harness is cheaper and Curtiss is happy."
The young Glenn Curtiss is very fascinating as he was constantly thinking. He was very shy, but that shyness allowed him to dive into experimenting with his hands. He loved to work, make things, constantly working with items, finding out how they worked, what made them tick. And that was the kind of man he grew into. He was always thinking ahead.
He was incredibly mechanically innovative. He had an 8th grade education. He obviously never took any engineering courses or anything. As an adolescent, he was working in a Kodak factory and was laid off from Kodak and got a job as a bicycle messenger, and that introduced him to the bicycle and how fast you could go on one. He saw his first motorcycle in 1900 in an exposition out in Chicago, and he decided at that point he'd try to build one.
So he ordered a one-cylinder engine out of a catalog. When it arrived, it turned out it was a kit, not an assembled engine, so he worked on it, didn't like the way it worked, and he improved upon it.
There's no carburetor, so he took a tomato can, gasoline-soaked gauze, crammed in there, and the vapors of the gasoline drawing through the gauze into the engine were able to enable it to run. He got this thing running, went roaring down Sheeter Street in Hammondsport, and folklore says he went into Keuka Lake because it didn't have any brakes. I'm not sure if that's true, but it's a great story and I love it anyway. But he loved going fast.
America had fallen in love with speed, and Curtiss had in his grasp the ability to develop a more powerful engine. By January 1907, he was ready to test it on a motorcycle. Built snugly on a metal bicycle frame sat an enormous air-cooled V8 engine, rated at what was then an amazing 40 horsepower. To test it, Curtiss chose a 5-mile stretch of hard white sand in Ormond Beach, Florida. He wheeled out the motorcycle and strapped himself on to avoid being blown completely off. In every race, a rider faces risk, but this was going to be different. If Curtis's calculations were correct, he was about to become the fastest man on Earth.